You know that feeling. You're just staring at a screen, going through the motions, and you know you need a change of scenery. And sometimes the answer is waiting right outside your window. That's the only sign I need. No plans, no overthinking it. I'm just grabbing the essentials and getting out of here. Time to trade in that screen time for some windshield time. It's amazing how much fun it is when the only thing on your to-do list is just drive. And that is exactly why I love this van so much. It gives me the freedom to just go. Well, yesterday I asked a buddy at work if he knew of any good spots around here, and he said, hey, there's this place called Graffiti Rock. And he dropped me a pin on the map, and when I looked at the map, it was just unbelievable to me how close this place is to my home. So I had to get out here and check it out. So this is one of those places where words don't do it justice. I swear, I've driven by this place probably 100 times. It's amazing to me that I've essentially written this spot off. I've done so much exploring in the forest out here. Never would I have imagined that this view is out here. Well guys, we made it here. Didn't really have a destination in mind for today, but being outside in a place like this is absolutely stunning. I'm afraid to even bring my camera out here. And although I've jumped out of quite a few perfectly good airplanes with a parachute, being up here is almost terrifying. We're about 200 feet above the river below, and there are rocks and trees and brushes all below me that would disrupt the fall, but make it quite painful. So my spidey senses are saying, stay at least 5 feet away from the edge here. I definitely don't want to have any accidents, but absolutely stunning view that we have out here in the forest. And although the short hike out here wasn't that bad, there were a few 3 or 4 foot gaps that I had to overcome in order to get down here. That hike to Graffiti Rock was just incredible, but the heat is brutal today.
Cool thing to look at. You know, I remember the posters and the blacklight posters and all that stuff. It's so fascinating how it's all sort of being reconsidered.
Well guys, I am absolutely starving, so I chose this campsite, which looks like the perfect spot to refuel. Now this is a paid campsite, but I only plan to hang out here for about 30, maybe 45 minutes. So I'm not gonna pay for the spot, but I'm just gonna hang out, get a meal, and then hit the road. As I entered this small park here, there were some actual picnic areas. All of those picnic areas were filled up with families having picnics, and so I didn't wanna disturb them with me talking to you guys, but let's see what we got on the menu. And to be quite honest, I didn't really pack a whole lot of craziness for today. I really have 2 choices. One is a breakfast bowl, meat lovers, and then of course, meat lovers burrito. So A or B, I think I'm gonna go with the breakfast bowl. And I am, of course, gonna microwave the meal, but before I can microwave that meal, I need to go ahead and get my power station turned on. So I'm absolutely a fan of having these electric devices. There's no gas, there's no worry about toxic fumes, anything like that. The only gripe or problem that I have with this kind of setup is I am always chasing more electricity. I still have the minivan camper set up for traveling with my wife. She is not really going to be traveling with me very often, so I may go back to a solo, but I do have plans, or we have plans to do another trip in October. So I'm really on the fence about whether or not I'm going to keep it like this or put it back to a solo setup that has a lot more room inside. And I almost forgot my drink. This table has definitely been out here for quite a while. It feels dried out, very interesting. This is my first time drinking one of these Olippops. This is a classic grape flavor. I don't know if these are actually good for you, but supposedly they have a lot less sugar, making them potentially better for you, but I'm sure they have some artificial sweetener that I may regret in the long run. And actually that's quite nasty. But first of all, thank you for joining me on this journey. My real goal today was just to get out with no agenda, just go and explore. I get so busy between work and then doing some of the other kind of video content that I do that I never really get a chance to just go out and enjoy myself. I think for the rest of this trip, I'm gonna eat my lunch. I love this spot, but I'm gonna go find a free dispersed campsite and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my night minivan camping. Well, I'd love to say that cooled me off a little bit, but I'm actually hotter because the air conditioner in the van obviously is keeping me cool while I'm rolling. But if we hit the road, I know some perfect campsites around here. I'll let the sun set a little more. It's about 3 p.m. so the sun is starting to go down. The hottest part of the day is over. But by the time we get to the campsite, hopefully I will no longer be drenched in sweat. And of course, because I don't want to be a slug, I'm just gonna double check, make sure nothing is on the picnic table, nothing is under the van. That way, when I leave this area, I left it at least in as good of condition as I found it. All right, back on the hunt. This is my favorite part of the day, that golden hour when you're looking for a place to settle in for the night. What I'm looking for is pretty simple. Something quiet, something reasonably level, and definitely something that feels like it's all mine. It's not about finding just any spot, it's about finding the spot. We finally made it. We're at our campsite, and the good thing is this site is free, but the bad thing is it's not exactly level. And I'm not exactly sure how well you can tell, but I'm angled downward that way just a little bit. I might try to reposition myself. I also want to stay out of the taller brush as much as possible, really to avoid getting ticks. And if you look at the terrain right here, it doesn't actually look very level, but the van now, as it sits, feels pretty good. I think I'm gonna hang here for the night. Feels like the perfect spot. The sun is just now going under the trees, so I'm not blazing hot like I was earlier. Let's get some dinner started. And in case you're wondering, these are the snap shades right here. I did buy those a couple weeks ago. My only gripe is there's definitely a gap. I have some gaffer tape, and I think I'm gonna try to just seal that gap up. Without that gap, if it wasn't for that gap right there, these things would absolutely be perfect. But I also have a new air conditioner I'm trying out. I have not tried this one before, so I really don't wanna say anything about it. I just wanna try it out, see how it works. It is rated about the same as the EcoFlow Wave 3, but it does not come with an independent battery. So let's talk about the priorities of work for my campsite here. Number one, I feel like I'm decently level. I am actually, now that I'm looking at it, slanted this way just a little bit, but I'd rather be slanted that way because I sleep with my head in this direction. I'll be kind of sliding down towards my feet in the middle of the night. Number two, I want to get my table get my cooking supplies set up. And then third, I want to get my air conditioner set up. And then finally, I've got to make my bed. I've got some new sheets or clean sheets I want to put on there. And so those 4 things will set me up for success for the rest of my night tonight. Oh. But I think before I do anything else, I'm just gonna sit around, relax 5 or 10 minutes, let myself cool off, drink a nice ice cold water from my mini fridge. So I realized while I was grabbing this water out of the fridge that I forgot my better cheddars. So earlier when I showed you my 2 options, I had the meat lovers dish or the meat lovers burrito. I have those 2 items. I ate one already. I also have some lentil soup that I had planned to put some better cheddars in, but I forgot my better cheddars. So now my choices are essentially a vegetarian lentil soup, Cajun style. It has a little bit of seasoning. It's gonna be pretty good. Or my meat lovers burrito, or maybe both. That's a lot of food. I don't think I'm gonna have both. So I think the lentil soup is gonna be better for me for tonight. I already had that meat lovers food earlier. The lentil soup has a little more flavor, has actually a little more substantial food. I think it's gonna be a bigger meal. And I think cooking with this little pot right here is gonna be well worth the effort. This fan right here, without the air conditioner, could keep you cool all night. So I've got to find a way to get that charged. It's at 7%. I think I used it last time and I never topped it back off. So I might pay for that move later tonight. I did not put enough water in last time, so I'm just going to guesstimate what looks like about 2 cups. You actually really can't put too much water in here because the rice and lentils will absorb all of that extra water as it's cooking. Since I know that rice is going to take at least 30, if not 40 minutes to cook, I cooked some of that rice last time I was camping. I'm going to go ahead and get this air conditioner set up. This air conditioner, all of these air conditioners, take up quite a bit of space when they're not in use. But once you get these things set up, they can be considered absolutely worth it. My only major gripe with this one is it comes with this massive power brick. Power bricks are kind of a thing of the past, but here we are again in 2025. If this air conditioner is considered light, I would definitely add this weight to it because lugging this around also comes with its own weight penalty. So I've at least got this air conditioner set up preliminarily. It is blowing cool air. It is cooling me off, but I have definitely been paying for my mistakes today of not being prepared. I should have started this air conditioner before I let the van warm up when I first got to my campsite. I say this every time, but I'm already cooled off when I get there. By the time I realize how hot I am, it's already too late. And you guys have definitely heard me say this before. These little portable air conditioners, they will not cool this entire volume, no matter what they say. They're really only good for giving you a point of cool air. So what I'm gonna do in a little bit is I'm gonna hook up, I have a little hose that goes to the front of that. I'm gonna hook that hose up. When I am ready to go to sleep, I'm gonna pump that cool air into my sleeping bag, essentially, keep myself cool. That's really the only way. Another mistake I made today was I did not bring my jug that I normally vent the water into, and I have a 20-ounce cup down there. Hopefully that's big enough to get me through the night, but I wouldn't be surprised in the morning if I wake up and that cup is overflowing. And now that I'm comfortable here in the minivan, I still have to go out and finish getting my dinner ready. This stuff's been cooking for at least 20 minutes, so it is expanded by 5 times its volume from inside of this Ziploc bag. I can tell just by stirring it that it's still a little hard, and there's a lot of moisture in there. And I just wanted to look at the reality of letting that air conditioner blow full blast throughout the night. That thing is pulling over 500 watts. With this power station, that's only gonna last about 4 hours. I think what I need to do is try to get this vent at least out of the window and then I can turn the air conditioner down a little bit while I'm sleeping. Whew. Well, that quickly devolved into chaos. I've got the air conditioner set up. It was a little tough, but I got it. So I think I've managed to get ahead of the chaos. I've got the cold air from the air conditioner blowing on me. As I got into all that chaos, I was throwing stuff around, moving things as fast as I could, not being the most efficient camper that I can be, but I still have to get my bed set up, eat my dinner, and then I can get to bed. And I let one fly in. Hopefully I can find it, get it out of here. It is a horsefly. Horseflies were pelting the van, so it is wild how many horseflies there are out here. But this air conditioner is actually keeping up pretty well. I mean, we're out of the sun, so I wouldn't expect anything less than that, but I am a little surprised how good I feel right here. I would say my main gripe with this thing so far is it has one of that size hose, and that size hose works on the exhaust there as well as the cold air here. So I can't do like with some of the other systems where I have that stuff effectively routed where it's supposed to be and then have that routed as I want to in here. So I'm gonna have to make a decision later. Do I want to exhaust the hot air or do I want to blow the cool air into my sleeping bag? And now that I'm settled, I'm gonna go ahead and get my keys out of the ignition. I always, when I'm camping, I always hang the keys right here. That way if I need them in the middle of the night, I can get to them. And right now I'm gonna go ahead and lock all the doors. But if I need to get out, I can still exit by unlocking this door, opening it, coming back in, and locking it. And I am, of course, a little worried that I might go out, bump the lock, and lock myself out of the van. So if that ever happens, it's gonna be a long hike back to civilization. So hopefully I don't have to deal with that. And you can see my guest just climbing up on the windshield right there. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna mess with it because there are more horseflies outside, and with these lights on and things like that, they're attracted to the van. And so I'm better off having one that I know about than opening the door and bringing in 10 more. In this 2-person configuration, I've got my little seat here down that I normally have up, but with that down, that allows me to secure my little table out of the way. It has a little bit of seat belt just in case of an accident. That'll prevent it from coming forward at least at full velocity. I think it is time for me to stop talking and enjoy my lentil soup. There is some pink Himalayan salt in here. That stuff tastes pretty good. It has a lot of nutrients in it, and the rice and lentils feel fully cooked. But it is honestly still just a little too hot to eat. And with all that heat out there, I'm not even sure how hungry I really am. I'm mainly just eating because I know I need to eat, not because I'm hungry. I think while my food cools down just a little more, I'm gonna go ahead and get my sheet set up the way I want it. I don't even need my shades tonight. It's just so nice out here. But this is my main sheet. This is the one I'll probably sleep with. And then the sleeping bag, almost no possibility that I'll need that tonight. I have some pretty good luck usually getting this thing set up. So can I do it from within the van in a reasonable manner? Let's see. Well, I've got everything set up. I am good to go. The last thing I have to do is still stop talking and eat my food. I picked a handful of questions and comments from the last video that I published, minivan camping with my wife Tabitha. First of all, we had a lot of support. A lot of folks said, hey, welcome Tabitha. She doesn't always go camping with me. She really doesn't go camping with me that often, but when she does, I absolutely love it. The first comment was, is that a Haley Duo you're rocking? I have the Solo. Haley Outdoors bed platforms are the best. And yes, that is the Haley Box Duo. I chose that one specifically because it has the ability to change the height of the legs from like 2.5 inches, almost to like 18 inches. I'm not sure exactly, but it allows me to perfectly contour that bed to the bottom of the van. And the next comment was, FYI, you definitely don't need to refrigerate honey. Also, honey contains no fat, so it couldn't have been rancid. Just a guess, but it sounds as if what you smelled or tasted was the early stages of fermentation. P.S. Hi, Tabitha, you are a good sport. So I actually agree with Senka, because I was researching this a little bit on my own as well. And of course, there are no fats, so it is not rancid. And the smell and the proper terminology for what I was smelling is, I believe, fermentation. I just didn't want to get any of us sick, and I'm glad that that company was able to just easily replace the honey for us. And the next comment was from Dan Fried 9498, and he said, great video, noticed your swing away hitch. What brand is it? Thanks. And that swing away hitch that I have on the back of the minivan is a generic, or it's inspired by a Wilco off-road swing away hitch. I did purchase mine off of Temu. That specific model has completely vanished off of Temu since I purchased it. I'm a little bit curious about why that has happened, but the quality of mine is sufficient, but it's definitely not the quality of the ones that are made in America. And then the last comment is from Wildflower Prepper. She says, you are a very negative person. You have good points. Be more positive. You get more bees followers with honey. Sure, I'm not the smiling, dancing, all singing, all dancing clown. If you guys have seen Fight Club, you know, I'm not into that. I do try to be positive. I try to sound positive. It's hard to fake that stuff. And so a lot of times I just have my face, and my face is my face, and I live with it. So whatever that means, thank you for your observation, and I will try to be more positive. Now, I have been hearing a little bit of thunder off in the distance here, and I don't think it's going to rain. I might need to bring that bag from the air conditioner back into the van, but otherwise, I think it is time for me to go in and get settled and get to bed. Oh. By the way, guys, if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe. Say hi in the comments, and I'll catch you on my next adventure. Have a great night.